Hi, I'm Lily. Today I'm going to read a story called Walking Through a World of Aromas. Okay, I'm going to read you the story. Walking Through a World of Aromas. Okay, let's read it. When Annie was born, everything was dark. She could feel the warmth of her mother as she held her in her arms, the smell of her father's newly washed shirts, and far away she could hear the twittering of the birds as they slowly woke up to spring. But apart from that, everything else was darkness. As the years went by, Annie understood that she was different. She heard her friends talking about colors and shapes, but everything was confusing for her. One day her mother said to her, "Blue, feel like this," and made her hold an ice cube in her hands. "Feel like this, red," and while she made her hold out of her hands toward the fireplace, very carefully so as not to burn them, and he smiled and turned her head in the direction of her mother's voice. It was during the winter when Annie learned to walk among aromas. At first, of course, she was clumsy and bumped her head more than once. Her father said to her again and again, "Annie, go slowly, there's no rush." But like any child who wants to discover new things, she wanted to learn, and she wanted to do it quickly. So one day she began to touch the old furniture in her house. She knew that it was polished with wax that had a very special smell, which she could easily detect. If she walked close to it, the smell became stronger, gradually disappearing as she moved away. One step this way, one step that away, and the dining room table was behind of her. One step to the left, one three to the left, and she could dance all the way from the kitchen to her room without any help. The next week, she learned to walk next to the vases full of newly cut roses, to reach the kitchen guided by the smell of fresh baked cookies that her grandmother made. And even now a spell not to step on the tail of her pet cat, Paris, who for some funny reason always smelled of cinnamon. And then one day, and without knowing exactly how, Annie realized that although she was different, she could do very special things. Without doubt, what she liked best of all was cooking with her grandma. In the winter evening, the two of them would stay in the kitchen, baking the most amazing cakes. Annie loved to invent new flavors, and she seemed to have a special gift for combining spices. A pinch of lemon zest, a little bit more of sugar, and just a few drops of vanilla essence, she would say, while her hands would move skillfully over the pots and hobs, although she couldn't see, or maybe precisely for the reason, and he could always tell when flavors were at their very best moment. People said that the neighboring villages could always tell what she was cooking. Hmm. The summers and forests went by, and the winter and springs, and then the summer would come again while Annie continued to experiment with the favorite flavors and spices that her father would bring to her from the best faraway places. On her 17th birthday, mhm, entering the kitchen one for afternoon, and he noticed the fragrance of her grandma who sat walking for her with a mischievous smile. "Did you enjoy your walk with Julian?" asked the old lady, and he without knowing why, suddenly felt herself blush. "I can't run away to help him," she answered nonchalant. "I've tried all of the recipes you've shown me, and all of the ones I've created myself. There's nothing left for me to say." "You know something, Annie," said the grandma. "Since you were a little girl, you've been able to see into other people's heart. Maybe now it's time for you to start looking to your own, don't you think? It was then that Annie understood that Julian had overcome his sadness song, vanilla or the saffron. Oh, but above all, she knew how sad she would feel if the day ever came when she didn't hear him dragging his feet along the path. She understood that all this time he had been waiting for her. Oh, she felt so secure treating other people's heart with their recipes to pluck up the courage to discover that true love, like all great dishes, take a long time to prepare, and that most of all it needs patience, a great deal of patience. Smiling, Annie turned to her grandma and said almost in a whisper, so as not to wake her cat, I think I'll make something special for when Julian comes to visit me this afternoon. Can you pass me the sugar bowl? Okay, let's read one more story. One more book. A hat full of birds. This is Nate, a little girl with a hat full of birds. She mixes ham into her favorite yogurt. She can sit for hours gazing at spiders' webs, even though there's no spiders. She rocks back and forth, to and fro, fluttering her fingers like butterflies. At school, the kids were nasty and cruel. Hey, you got a brain in this car? Or are you just stupid and dull? But tonight it doesn't listen. Listen, Scar, dull, sickle. In the class, there's a boy named Noah. One day during the lesson, he tries to fly some paper planes. Bad luck, one of them lands on the teacher's head. Noah is punished. She has to change seats. Sit in the front. Noah sits beside Nate. He annoyed. He pushes her out of irritation. Oh, whispers Nate. He won't fly anymore. But birds in drawings don't fly, says Noah, getting angry. The drawings don't fly. The bird does, said Nate loudly. After school, Noah sees Nate crouching the edge of the sidewalk. She is dropping some bright little boats into the gutter. They felt the stream with color as they floated along. Noah stops, look at her, and thinks, that's so pretty. The next day at recess, the rain is pouring down. Nate walks in the middle of the schoolyard. Then she stands there, not moving, her palms dancing the clouds. Noah's friends point at her. She's so stupid. She's so stupid. Noah turns his back on them, and when he sees Nate taking off her boots to splash in the water, he rushes to her and brings her back under the shoulders. But Nate doesn't want to move. Look, she fills her boots with the water streaming off the roof. She hides one under her raincoat and hands to the other to know. Quick, let's get back to class. Noah struggles to keep with Nate and zigzags her way to the stairs. When Noah is completely soaked, watch where you're going, said Noah angrily. Now it's ruined. I'm sorry, Nate, said Noah, leaving the empty boat under her chair. Don't worry, one's enough, says Noah's hand and slipped a tightly 40 bit of paper in his Sims. Noah smiles, then he leans over Nate's boat to drop her little gift inside. The boat twists and twirls, dancing merrily across the water, and is so pretty. This is Nate and this is Noah. They are friends. Noah is friends with Nate. Together, they look after the birds that nest in their heads. Okay, so today I will just record walking through a world of aromas and a head full of birds. Okay, bye. Thank you for watching. Bye.